Hi, people.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
Some of you might be surprised by the title, some might not. I had cancer. Felt like I wanted to make a video talking about it, I guess, and do a little makeup and get ready. I'm just gonna put this on, get this started. I'm gonna be really awkward because I haven't done this in such a long time, but you know, it is what it is. You might have noticed my face is swelled up a little bit. It's not that bad right now, but it gets worse. It's my medicine, makes my face blow up. It's prednisone. A lot of you may know it. So, love that. I'm just gonna start story timing and let's just see where it goes. I'm just gonna moisturize my face while I'm at it. This is just it's a body lotion. I use it for my face. Don't ask me why I do that. I do that. So I recently turned 18 as of the 5th of September. And I've been feeling really weird the months up to my birthday. I started having a lot of nausea during the summer, specifically when I was in America for 3 weeks. I lost a ton of weight, I think 8 kilos. I do not know how much that is in pounds. You're gonna have to calculate that yourself. But I'm already not the biggest person, so it was really not good for me to lose that weight, and it was simply just because I couldn't finish any meal without like getting nauseous. So that was really bad. And I had been sleeping at least 12 to 14 hours every night, and I thought it was just because I was really stressed, because I had gone down with stress because of my education in Easter, and that's where I started sleeping a lot. So I thought that just correlated with each other, but I kept sleeping up until August. Like I would sleep at least 12 hours every night, until I started school, because then I wouldn't be able to sleep through the morning until noon. I had to get up at 6. So that made a big difference, and I got really, really tired and stuff. I only ended up going to college for about a month before I got sick. So just around my birthday, such great timing. The Friday after my birthday was a Tuesday. Friday the 9th, we had Pride. It is not Friday the 9th, it is Saturday the 9th. I mixed those around, I'm so sorry. Here in Hustle, where I live, the first Pride ever here. Really proud to be a part of that. That was really fun. I had my first symptom of the sickness I now have. The disease I have is called myasthenia gravis. And my first symptom was not being able to chew properly. And it was really weird because like we were walking a lot and I was really exhausting myself. And that's like a key point of the disease is exhaustion. I can't speak, I'm so sorry. And we were walking, you know, for the parade. So we were walking a lot. We walked down to the parade, in the parade, around and shit down there. And then we walked to this cafe to get some food. And we got some nachos and quesadillas. And I remember feeling really weird about the quesadillas and the nachos because I couldn't properly chew them. And I kept like crossing my teeth, like, it really like hurts because I couldn't chew down on the nachos. Not even the quesadilla, and the quesadilla is pretty soft. So I was like really weirded out and I just lost my appetite. But I didn't really know what else to do about that. So we just went on partying through the night and walked all the way home too. And then I was just like having a hard time eating. Like it was just weird. Like something was up. So Sunday was my family birthday party. So I took my car, drove all the way back to my parents' house, which is like 45 minutes away, and had an outside garden like party. And I remember being really sad because I couldn't really eat my food. We had some ribs, stuff from Bones, a really popular restaurant here. I fucking love Bones. So I was really sad that like I couldn't really eat them. But I did eat like some hot wings and stuff, but that was about it. I did tell my mom about it, but she was really focused on the amount of guests we were having in the party, so I kind of got chucked to the side, even though it was my birthday. Love you, mama. We did talk this through, that it was kind of fucked up. But nonetheless, I did tell her about it, but eventually I was like fine. Like I felt okay. I just had a hard time chewing. So, you know, after we cleaned up after the party and stuff, I just drove my ass home, all the way home at night, and just went to bed. The day after I was supposed to go to school, I wake up and my eye's hanging a little bit. Just like the teeniest bit, but I noticed it like immediately. You will notice when like one eyelid is like further than the other. This is called ptosis, and I have a few pictures, and it just got worse throughout the day. So around like 10 a.m. or so, I FaceTime my mom, and I'm like, Mom, something fucked is going on. I think I'm getting paralyzed. I think I'm getting, like, I got bit by some kind of bug and started to get paralyzed by the bug bite, or some fucked up shit is going on. And I'm freaking out, and I'm scared to drive. But eventually I do have to pick up my roommate from college. I don't know why I didn't go that day, but Phoenix definitely did. And I remember just putting on sunglasses and driving there to not scare the shit out of Phoenix, because I was probably not supposed to be driving. It was not that bad, but it was like a little bit, so I was scared to drive. But the moment we were in the parking lot, I was like, I have to tell you something. And I like took off the sunglasses. I was like, do you see what's going on? And Phoenix definitely noticed what was going on. And I was like, I'm gonna call my mom to come get me, because I'm scared to drive to my parents' house so we can go to the doctor. Because my doctor is still in my parents' town. I now switched it to here, but at that point it was still at in my hometown, so I would have to go all the way there to go to the doctor. I couldn't just do it here, which was stupid, but I did end up switching it now. So my mom comes with the train. I drive down to the train station. She takes over my car, and we drive to my parents' house. And I'm just like kind of freaked out. We all kind of are a little bit freaked out. And we had to wait till the next morning between 7 and 8 to be able to call the doctors. Because for some reason we didn't think about going to like the emergency. But like it wasn't that bad. I remember vividly on the car ride from here to my parents' house that my speech was starting to slur. Oh my god, it was so scary. Like I'd speak for a little bit, I'd start slurring like a drunk person, and then I would take a break and I'd be able to speak again, like resting your voice muscles. I would be able to speak again with no problems, and then about 5 minutes would pass of me continuously speaking, and I would start slurring again. I'm gonna focus on my eyebrows for a minute so I don't fuck this up. Where did I get to? Slurring my speech. Yeah, man, that was scary, and it just kept getting worse. So like the time limit would just like go shorter and shorter, and then like after a little while, I would only be able to speak for like until I like couldn't speak. That was a couple of days after I would like. That was when I was at the hospital. I like couldn't speak at all. I think I'm gonna light a little candle just for like emotional support. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm back with a lighter. This one's so cute. Oh, that was hot. Oh my god. I'm so stupid. Anyway, got the candle lit. Gosh, I'm so stupid. Kinda hurt. Okay. So we call the doctors the morning after. My eye's gotten worse, and we are more scared of what's going on. We all think I'm paralyzed by a bug still. I don't remember why we were thinking about a bug, but that was like just the thing we were thinking about the most. This is the promate thing I'm using. Promate? I don't know what I can't do English anymore. I've been away from America for too long. And like a little angled brush, and it has like a dirty spoolie. We go to the doctor's, and she takes a few looks at me, and pretty much immediately, she calls them while we're there, calls the neurological clinic at the hospital nearby, which is like 45 minutes away. Again, just the other direction. And they say that they will take me immediately to get me looked at, checked out, sleep there for a few nights, you know, that sort of stuff. Look, it's already so much better. God, I'm so talented. So I got admitted. This was Gulstrup Hospital for the Danes. That was an experience being there. I remember just being really weirded out the first couple of days. I posted a few TikToks being like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with me. I'm partly paralyzed. I don't clearly remember my symptoms at this point, but I don't think it had spread very much, at least not to the capacity that it eventually did spread to. But I think it was mainly just my eye and speech at that point. Maybe a little bit in my arms, not being able to lift as much, but I think my walk was still pretty good, and my ability to swallow and breathe, you know? Concealer, just using a NYX one. This one dries down really, really fast, so I have to be really quick with it. And I should probably wet my beauty blender before I start, so I will be back. They take my blood a few times. Goddamn bastards. Run a few tests. I think they come visit me a couple of times. I still have a hard time eating. I mentioned to them that I can't eat lactose, and it's not really that bad. I just get a little tummy ache. I just, you know, didn't realize that that might have consequences, which is, it did. Because, like, I was basically only eating liquids because I was not able to chew. Since that was my first symptom, it was also my worst one. I was not able to eat practically anything that I had to chew, just like the tiniest bit. I had very limited options of food since they were not gonna have any dairy, and I was just not eating enough because I didn't have that many options really. So, you know, a few days pass. They come to the consensus that it's probably myasthenia gravis, giving the symptoms that I had, and they start me on some medicine, which is mestinon. That's how we say it here, mestinon. I think that's the English pronunciation. And I had a little bit of prednisone, but not very much. And it was just through IV, and I only had it one time. And I think it was because I started to have breathing issues. That was about that time. I think so. I can't remember much. This was a few months ago now. Half a year ago. Is it really? Oh God, that's scary. It is like half a year ago since it started. Okay. God damn. I was still pretty much doing stuff. My mom was staying there. She was sleeping on this like flip out couch. She was sleeping really bad. But they were saying I would probably go home for the weekend. Stuff was looking up. My mom could go home. The night that she goes home, I am out brushing my teeth, and I end up choking on the water when I'm like rinsing my mouth after I've brushed my teeth. And when your muscles aren't working that well, you can't cough, and that means you are in constant choking hazard. And that ended up what I was dealing with. I couldn't cough. I couldn't do anything. I could only do very, very small coughs, like and that obviously cannot get water out of your airways. I pull on the red string that's in the bathroom to like call for help, and about 10 minutes go by. No one comes. I'm just doing my little coughs, trying to survive as I'm not able to breathe, really, for 10 minutes. Well, I was like kind of able to breathe enough to like stay alive for 10 minutes without proper airways. And 10 minutes go by. I finally dislodged the water by myself. No help from everybody. No help from anybody. And a nurse comes in, asks what the fuck's wrong. I tell her what's wrong, and she's like, oh, just lay down and relax. Okay. I laid down. I was very exhausted at this point, was barely able to walk because I was so burned out from the experience I had just had. And the next day I wake up and they tell me that they're gonna put a feeding tube in me because I was in choking hazard and I wasn't eating enough by myself. So they put that in. They apparently put it in a little bit wrong. It was really hard to get it in the first place because I wasn't able to swallow, and you have to swallow to get it through. And every time I turned my head, I would choke on it. But I guess that was just kind of what I had to deal with. They told me that was just something I would have to get used to for the next couple of days, weeks maybe. And I was not having it. I'd been fine up until this point mentally, but this day, I cried for 4 hours continuously because of this feeding tube. And I was not feeling good. No, it's probably my worst moment, I think. Even though it's like such a minimal thing, that really fucked with me. And also, they didn't put any food in the feeding tube because they didn't have any lactose feeding tube food. So that meant that they were fasting me for a really long time because they didn't have it, so they didn't give me any food from the morning till about 3 p.m. Because at 3 p.m., well, about 4 p.m., I was supposed to be picked up to be taken to a different hospital where there would be treatment that would help me survive. And they would have to, move me. And they couldn't move me in car without me having any food. So they just put normal feeding tube food down the feeding tube. After starving me from dinner to 3 p.m. And I was crying for food because I was just so hungry. And oh God, that is so uncomfortable getting food down your nose. Oh my God, I never want to try that again. I literally would not wish it on my worst enemy. And that's bad because usually I'm not that humble. I then get put into this sick transport, or what they call it, and they drive me to Byeeeee. And there should be a specialist there. They have different treatment things. They have other people who have had myasthenia gravis. This is still not confirmed that I have it, but the mestinon is working, and that's usually enough for a diagnosis. We were still waiting on a blood test result, though, to check if I was positive for antibodies or not. You can be negative for antibodies and still have myasthenia gravis, but it's important for your treatment process to know if you have the antibodies or not. I did indeed have the antibodies. We did get the test back when I was in Byeeeee. I first get there. I tell them that you can give me lactose food, ignore the lactose intolerant thing. Just ignore it completely. Because I had learned from my mistake at that point. Because I knew that was one of the reasons they put in the feeding tube in me. So I tell them that. They say, fine, we can do that. And I tell them that I want the tube out because I can eat. And they're like, no, we can't do that. I was like, I am not getting food down the tube again. I will eat food with the tube in if you make me keep it. So, for dinner that night, I ate mashed potatoes and some gravy through my mouth, still with the tube in, and also with swallowing and chewing problems. I'm a really stubborn person, and that is the length that I would go to, and I would gladly do it again because I just wanted that shit out of my face more than anything. So that's what I did. Morning after, oh God, in the morning they tell me that the what is that word? That is not gynecologist. That is for vaginas. some kind of therapist. What is that word? I can't figure out the word. It's something about using your oral muscles. Some kind of like doctor or something that knows about that. They had to evaluate me before I was allowed to get the tube out. Thing is, those people are not at work in the weekends. I came there a Friday. They told me I had to wait until Monday to be evaluated to get it taken out. And I said, absolutely the fuck not. That is not happening. I will show you that I can be without it, and you will take it out. So the morning after I had shown them that I could eat breakfast all on my own, it was yogurt and some other stuff, basically still liquid food, but food, and lots of dairy stuff, because you know what, if I'm gonna shit, I might as well like get some food. I took the consequences of that. And reluctantly, they did take it out of me after breakfast that day. I was so happy. But, you know, conditions still getting worse. After a couple of days there, I remember my smile started to go crooked and my limbs were like giving up on me, and I had a hard time getting off the toilet. We had some medicine accident stuff where I like literally shat my pants and my mom would have to clean me. That is the most humbling experience I have ever gone through in my life, is having diarrhea and my mom having to clean it up because I am too scared to have the nurses do it. So my mother was doing it with me. Everybody, please say thank you to my mother for being the best person on earth and taking care of me. I love her so much. Highlighter. I don't remember if I've like shown all the products that I've used. This is like, oh god, this is the powder. This is the blush. This is this. I keep mentioning it every time I mention this blush. I've used it since I started this channel, and I will continue to do so probably until I stop doing YouTube, which will be like never. I want to be like an old grandpa doing. Emphasis on grandpa. My legs were kind of giving out on me. They started me for reals on the prednisone at this point after a couple of days at Skype. I'm pretty sure my eye was doing all kinds of things, really. But at this point, I think it was just closed, and I just literally could not move it up. It was like really, really hard to like get any movement from that eye at all. But I don't think much else with my eye. It was just that. And then we figured out that it was myasthenia gravis. We got the final test back, and we were like, okay, now we can start proper treatment. And I got through something called PLES, I think. It's a plasmapheresis. They basically lay you out like Jesus. I'm going to show some pictures. I might have to censor them a little bit. They put a big needle in one of your arms, suck all your blood out, filter it, get rid of all the bad plasma, and put donor plasma plus some proteins back through your other arm, because all of the stuff that's doing this disease is in the blood. So I started that treatment. The thing about myasthenia gravis is it kind of like gets worse over time. And for most people, that timeline is very long. And I'm talking years long. Mine was days, maybe a week. From when I went from no symptoms to critical, I'm gonna die symptoms. And there is one simple reason for that, and that is I had a tumor that was driving this whole disease that was massive. That's where the cancer is. Yeah. The whole thing that's making this disease is this thing called the thymus, or thymus, whatever it is. Thymus is like how we say it. And it makes your immune system, and it like puts all the antibodies out in your blood. Mine had a tumor, and it was giving out bad antibodies that was killing the signals in my muscles. So therefore, the more I used my muscles, the weaker they would get, because they wouldn't take in the signals, and then they would just stop working at all, and they would just shut off until I would relax. The antibodies would go away, and then I would be able to do it again, and then the antibodies would start attacking the moment I started using my muscles. So it's like a really weird disease, and it's very rare. But 18 years old, got it. Get it all to me. Mine just went a lot faster because, you know, often with people with myasthenia gravis, they often have like problems with their thymus. Probably a little bit of a little tumor, a little knot that's doing all the stuff, or just the thymus itself. Mine had a tumor the size of, my doctor said, a grown man's knuckle. We got a CT scan of it. It was 9 centimeters in diameter. I have a photo of that as well when we went to get that CT scan result. And, you know, that is about this much. Let me get a ruler. 9 centimeters is this much. This is the diameter. And just imagine that as like a thing inside of you. And you can't see it because it's under your ribs. So that meant I had asthma symptoms that I got medicated for, but I never had asthma. I just had a tumor in there. And it was pressuring, like sitting on my lungs and my heart, and it was giving me problems that I just thought were normal because they said it was a slow growing tumor. So it had grown over a long time. And my breathing symptoms started back in 2020, maybe before that. And I just thought, I just got asthma because of Corona. I just got asthma because of COVID. And apparently I was just growing a cancerous tumor inside of my body that I also have a photo of. You should DM me if you want the photo, because I definitely cannot put that out here, I think. I started getting all of the blood transfusions, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's kind of like a 50-50. Mostly it works if you have positive for antibodies, which I did. And already on the first day, my mom like almost started crying because she already saw improvement in me, and I was really energetic, which is like really good sign that it's working. My eyes started to like shoot open up, but the thing is, my eyes were now like this. It was so bad because now I could like close it, but couldn't really keep it closed because it just shot up from working from the treatment stuff. I slowly started to walk a little bit, but I never really walked that much. I've had a wheelchair for the last long bit. I haven't used it the last little while. We're gonna give it back. I'm so excited. I couldn't walk for very far. We started doing little training about like going out walking on stairs. Stairs are horrible. I hate stairs. And, you know, just trying to rebuild strength so I would eventually be able to go home. I get this treatment at the hospital while I'm staying there for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Monday and Wednesday again. I think I went home that Wednesday. My sister came and picked me up. I was so excited. I was not supposed to go home that early, but I had had a lot of improvements through the plasmapheresis. So I was able to go home. And that meant home to my apartment because I was really stubborn about, I did not want to go back home to my parents because, you know, I moved out this summer. And I really just did not want to live with my parents. I did end up doing that later. I did not go to school whatsoever. I still had plasmapheresis at least once a week. In the beginning, my dad would drive me there or my mom. But the last couple of times I actually went there by myself. So proud of myself. I have my own car, so I just drove my own ass on the highway to Skyview once a week to get my treatment so that I would keep being able to live. At this point, I was on a lot of meds. When I was in the hospital, I was taking around 50 milligrams of prednisone and 60 milligrams of mestinon 6 times a day. So quite the heavy dosage, plus a bunch of other meds that I'm just taking because I have to. like iron and vitamins, and also stuff for my stomach issues that comes with taking really strong meds. But when I went home, I got down to 25 milligrams of prednisone, and I would have to keep being on that dosage for a good while. Then I had a meeting in Copenhagen. We went to get the results of the CT scan. They had first come in a lot later when I was out of the hospital. Then they told me that I would have to get surgery to get this tumor removed, obviously. They had just told us that it was enlarged earlier and not told us how big it actually was until we were in Copenhagen and could see it for ourselves. And then we started talking about when I was going to have the surgery. I ended up having surgery on the 21st of November, which brings us to the second vlog that I did. In between those two, I was just kind of living life as best as I could with my little wheelchair and just kind of thriving, living in the apartment, staying with friends. I went on tour. There's another video about that is probably not up yet. I went on tour back in the beginning of November with my music college, and I specifically played a song with my new upcoming band. I have this Beetlejuice palette, and it's so great. Look at this green. It's literally so cute. I went on tour. That was really fun. I was really just procrastinating the fact that I was going to have surgery, because I was told it was a pretty big surgery since the tumor was quite the size. So that also means instead of just being able to make a little hole, go in, grab the tumor, get it out. Since mine was so big, they would have to break my ribs, do a lot of damage to me. I was really scared about this surgery because the only thing I'd done before was just getting like an infection out of my leg, like a mini operation with no no pain meds or anything, and I would be under full narcosis for 4 or 5 hours for this surgery, and they were kind of scared for that. So oh my god, this is the scar I ended up with. It goes up pretty far way down, and then I have 3 dots at the end because I had drains to drain all the fluid. For a couple of days I had those in, and those hurt really bad because they just do. I'm gonna do my eyeliner and I will be back. It got a lot bigger than what I was planning, but this eyeliner is like fucked up now and I'm really sad. I went into surgery in Copenhagen. They were only allowed to do it in Copenhagen since it's such a rare disease. And that's kind of like just a thing that they have to do, I guess. Surgery went well. That's what they told me, at least. He told me they seemed to have gotten everything out. I was happy. I posted a cute little TikTok. At this point, I was just woken up, pretty much. Still pretty dozed off. I was getting help to eat my food and stuff, but I was on a lot of pain meds, because I can tell you, getting your ribs broken ain't an easy pain. That hurts really bad. And I was on a mix of morphine and oxy. So that's what that can get you. I stayed there for quite a while. I talk about it in my YouTube video that I did there. I also mentioned, I'm pretty sure, that the day after, the doctor comes back and he tells me that they think there was a spread to my lungs. Well, the outer part of my lung. Which means they would prepare me to start to go through chemo after I had recovered from the operation. And after 6 rounds of chemo, I would need a second surgery to remove the lining of my lung, so they would be sure no more cancer cells would be left. And that was really heartbreaking, because now we went through all of this and we would have to do it again. And chemo, of course. After a little while, we get bonded up with a youth cancer group at the hospital. They give me chocolates. They make me feel welcome. Lots of love to them. They were amazing. Dealing with a teenager, just finding out that they have a super rare form of cancer that had spread, which is, not good news. The thing is, I was doing pretty good for somebody who had gotten those kinds of news. I went home to stay with my parents because after the surgery, there was a lot of restrictions. I wasn't able to lift anything above 2 to 4 kilos. If I did lift anything at maximum 4, it would have to be in here, and I wouldn't be able to stretch my arms out. So it was quite limited what I was able to do. I was just having a hard time doing anything without pain, so I stayed there for a little while. Yeah. Went home from surgery, stayed there for a while I was recovering. After I'd been home for 3 weeks, I get a call because I'm supposed to come back for some checkup stuff. The lady on the phone, she's not a nurse or a doctor, she's just like the phone lady. I don't know what it's called. I'm so sorry. She told me that she went ahead and canceled some of my appointments for the days that I was supposed to go, and it's all the way in Copenhagen. It's all the way over in Copenhagen, so it was very important for us to know when we were supposed to be there, because we would have to start driving at 4 a.m. but we ended up not having to drive until 6-7 instead, which was a great, nice adjustment. And we also didn't have to stay the night anymore like we were supposed to. And I was like, why did you cancel those? And she said, well, you don't need any further treatment. And I said, what do you mean? Do you mean I don't need chemo? And she said, yes. Your test result from the surgery came back and there wasn't a spread. And I was like, what are you saying to me right now? I was in my pajamas, in bed, on the phone with this random ass lady telling me I didn't have any cancer anymore. And I was just really freaked out. I called my parents. They didn't answer because they were both in meetings at work and I was freaking out. I called all kinds of different people trying to tell them the good news. The next day, we went to Copenhagen to talk to the doctors about what the fuck went wrong and how did they think that there was cancer when there was not. It turns out I had an infection on my lung because I was sick, on the outer part of my lung. I don't know, a really bad infection that they were all pretty sure was cancer, but it wasn't. And they don't tell people that they are waiting for the official result of the test. They don't even tell you that there's a test because it only happens for 3% of people that they're wrong, and only 40 people a year come in with this issue. So that's a very small number of people, and I was just really lucky. So they made that mistake, and I'm cancer free now. Hell yeah. Yeah. That's what's going on. That's the shit. That's the shit. So, now I'm just vibing. I have a checkup I need to go to just make sure nothing new is growing. Make sure they got everything out for sure. And just do regular stuff. Since I got those news, I've been really weird mentally. Because I started college this week for the first time since the 8th of September. I started back in college. I go to 2 colleges. The other one I've been at temporarily because it's you can do it online and stuff. It's a music college and then a regular community college. And I've been having a really, really hard time lately, but at least I'm alive. I'm just probably a little bit burned out and really unsocialized. So starting back in school is really scary because there's just a lot of people. I have been feeling really down, which is really weird now that I'm cancer free. but that's how it's going. Update on the myasthenia gravis symptoms though. Great freaking news. I am getting slowly tapped out of prednisone. I am still on 20 milligrams of today, and in 2 days I'm going down to 15 milligrams, and then I have to wait a month to go down another 5. They're hoping to get me on a pretty low doses, but they do not believe I will be completely without. So I will be on the meds, but I will be able to have a normal life. Because before the meds were not doing enough, I would have to have plasmapheresis every week to be able to like do normal stuff. And I haven't had plasmapheresis since before the surgery, so that is great news. I still take mestinon, but only once a day. It only lasts 4 hours, so I know that it doesn't really work, but I still take it because I have to. And then they want me to go up in mestinon at the time that my prednisone is tapped out to the point where I get symptoms. So that's probably what we'll end up doing, is just be on mestinon. And you have to take that quite regularly. So I used to have my bag with me all the time and just have a whole bottle of mestinon in it because I would have to take it throughout the day. And yeah, I haven't been doing that for the last little while. So I'd probably go back to doing that. I am hoping that I will be completely out of meds, but that is very unlikely. But I will give an update probably in a couple of months. Yeah, I am done with my makeup, and I'm pretty much done with telling the whole story. Yeah, I'm gonna do my hair, come back, probably do an outro, be cute or whatever. Yeah. I think I'm going to make an update later in a few months, but as of now, this is what's been happening. So thank you for staying and listening to my entire story, and I love you. Bye.